right, let's jump into it. It is April 8th, 2026, 8:49 a.m. I wanted to start with the Nasdaq here, kind of look at it, and it's just been a crazy week. I think it's been a week and a half since my last video I did, but a lot's kind of happened since then, and it's just nuts, freaking nuts. I mean, as you can see, this is what's kind of been happening the last week. This is the daily on the Nasdaq, and we were breaking down, and we were crashing. I think we should have kept going, but here they are in the last week, saving the market. And they already knew that there would be a ceasefire a week ago. I mean, you could tell they started rallying this up last week. And then as of yesterday, you got another big pump, with the news and all that. And you could just kind of see it in the charts. They already know when things are going to happen before they happen. And then, yeah, the Nasdaq's got, we were breaking down out of this pattern we had drawn here. Really nice pattern. A lot of touches, just kind of very textbook here. And we were breaking down out of it, and then magically we get saved, big massive candle, get back up into this pattern, kind of chop around in here, and then we get up and we break out yesterday, and we close way above the trend line, so now it looks like they're going to be making a move higher in the stock market with the Nasdaq, and we could be coming back up to where we got our double top back in January. So it's almost like nothing ever happened. It's just absolutely wild what's going on here. And let's look at SPX. Huge gap up on SPX. I mean, we were just rolling over. We were breaking through trend lines. Should have seen a massive dump here, but it's crazy what is going on in the news and everything, and what some tweets can do to change the direction of where stocks and crypto are heading. And so here you go. We had a really nice daily setup yesterday. Really nice green hammer right here, daily candle, moving averages rolling up. It's just crazy because you get up off of this red, and that's not right. But you get up, big move, you kind of chop around in here, and then you get a nice green hammer, moving averages rolling up, and then you get a huge gap up. And then here we are trading today, above the, one of the trend lines I had that goes a long ways back. Just absolutely crazy how you can break through all these trend lines, and you should be crashing here, and they just magically save this. Just insane, absolutely insane. Oil, I mean, oil looked like it was about to take off, up to about $135 a barrel, and we didn't get there. Massive sell-off with the war news. Or I guess non-war news, because I don't know, there's a 2-week ceasefire in place, but we had the candles down here to go higher off of. This was a nice candle here, and we got up, and then we got a red back into the moving averages. I was kind of hoping we would get another candle in here, like a smaller green candle with a lower low to get up off of, but we just kind of pumped off of this red, and that's a problem. Get a red up here, and then kind of a green topping candle, and then we just dumped off of it. I still do think oil will come up at some point. It's going to have to set up better though, and right now we are below the daily moving averages, so it's going to have to reset itself up. But what is this? Let's delete that. I think that was a measured move I had drawn. Let's delete that. So yeah, oil Had a, nasty drop yesterday. Um, Pretty much news based there. All right, let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been so frustrating. Like, this has been like the choppiest crap in a long time. Like, this is just, we've been chopping around in here. I talked about this rising wedge, and we started to break out of it last week, and I was like, almost 95% certain we were just going to dump here and go. They even saved it here, got another red reversal. I got in with huge size, caught a little move down, and then they got this inside green, and I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, we can't get any more continuation in here. I'll zoom in. Just frustrating. Um, red reversal in here, big move down. They buy it back up towards the end of the day, and then you get a little green candle on last Friday, and then another green candle, and they just kind of roll it back up here. And this is on Sunday, big Sunday candle. Usually price doesn't move that much on weekends, but they already knew that there was going to be a ceasefire as of last Sunday. Like, you even with the Sunday tweet that came out saying that it was going to be the end of Iran civilization or whatever. Like, they already knew that there was a ceasefire that was going to come in place. Just all the insiders. You get this huge green hammer. They even fake you out with this red reversal candle, but it's above the moving averages. The 8 and the 10 are rolling up, and then you get a quick drop pop. So you drop the next day on this Tuesday, yesterday, and then you fire it up and get this big green and kind of engulfing hammer. And now we're trading today, but this is pretty bullish. We'll see what happens today. So far, we don't have much more momentum, but we got 10 hours till the close. I'm expecting that based on this candle, we are going to come up and see, 76K, maybe up to 77K. Just on what I'm seeing, like the moving averages are rolling back up, and we should see continuation to the upside, for a little while. And then we'll see what happens from there. But, I think we're going to play right back into our rising wedge and come back up and test it maybe one more time. And who knows, maybe we could wake up even a little bit higher before coming back in. I'm still leaning that we are going to go short here sooner than later. It just may take longer than I had hoped for. I was hoping right here, this was it. We're breaking down, we come back up, we back test, we break down, we back test again, right up here. We trade up, and then right here on last April 2nd, so 6 days ago, I was hoping we would just, break this little bottom trend line and just dump here down to, I had my target right around, 55,000 down to like, 43,000, anywhere in that range. And we just couldn't do it. And, all this crap is like all like tweet based, Iran news, are we going to war? Are we not going to war? It's just like just such a choppy mess. It's so hard to trade in this environment. Like I've talked about in other videos, I like to see sustained moves to the downside or upside. Like I just want to see sustained moves, not choppy mess. Like this is impossible to trade in here for the last 2 freaking months of time. Chop, 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 chop. It's just we want to see moves, and I wouldn't say that this is the longest it's ever been this choppy, but because we had this back here, this was pretty choppy crap in here. We had one nice daily right there. That's a nice daily green hammer right here on January 3rd, 2026. That's a really nice candle to go long on. You could have had a couple days to the upside. But, Other than that, it's been terrible. There's a nice short right there. Let's zoom in on it. A little inside red. I mean, that's a tiny candle. Just put your stop up there, and then once the low breaks, then you're in, and you can ride that all the way down. I mean, it's above the moving averages, but it's such a tiny candle that you could short that. But just as of lately, there hasn't been anything really like tradable. Like it's been terrible. Um, Not to mention the weekly candles, are all bizarre now because here's what you have. Let me turn off the drawings. So let's do this. I just want to show what the weekly candles look like. And let's go to a different pair. Let's go to one that doesn't have all the alerts on it. So let's go to see if I can find it. Let's check this out. Okay, here we go. Bitcoin USD. Let's look at the weekly. So this is the weekly we got, the close we got this last Sunday. We just open, off this red, moving averages are rolling down. We get this red candle. And then like last week, we just open pump and close up high, or not too high, but kind of halfway between the previous candle. The body of this candle engulfs the body of the previous candle right up into the 10 SMA. And now, we get a little bit of a lower wick and we're kind of up, but this is not like a bottoming sort of structure here. Usually you want, a big wick down coming up followed by a green hammer, or at least a tall, red hammer with a bigger body. I mean, this is not a bottoming candle. If this was a green colored candle, that could be different. That could be, an inverse hanging man style candle. That could be a bottoming candle, but it's not. So it just makes me think that even if we do get up here a little bit, I do think eventually we will roll over. It just may take longer. It may take into the end of May, maybe early June. And this could take a while to develop. Unfortunately, it's just going to be very choppy, messy for a while. Is kind of what I'm thinking at this point. Here's the 2-week. This is still a very bearish 2-week, like I talked about in that last video. And look how far we've come up against this 2-week candle. Like you're telling me we're not going to break the low of this 2-week? I mean, it's only got 4 days, 10 hours. I mean, maybe we just hold up and get an inside green candle and then see what happens. But here are the moving averages right here. They're rolling down. So are we just going to get this green 2-week inside candle and then pump off of it and make these moving averages roll up? I mean, it's interesting. I don't know. Like, I still think that this could come down at any moment because this is a very bearish 2-week. But we'll see if they can hold this green 4 days, 10 hours, It'll be interesting. I mean, we're pretty flat on the bottom. I mean, there's going to be so many stop losses down here at the bottom of these candles. Like, you would think that they want to just wick it down, take out all those stop losses, and at least bring it back up and then go higher. Like, take out all these, all the longs that have stop losses down here, wick them out, long lower wick, and then shoot it back up, get your hammer, and then come up if you are going to go higher. So that's just usually how it goes. Let's look at the 3-week. I mean, look at that. That's very bearish. A long upper wick, tiny little body, but it's a red candle. It's a reversal candle. Here are the moving averages. I mean, maybe we need to chop, maybe another 3 to 6 weeks or something. I mean, this has got 11 days, 10 hours, so maybe get this candle closed in 11 days. Maybe it's green, and then maybe we need another 3-week candle to get another red candle and then dump off of to give time for the 3-week moving, the 3-week moving averages to catch up just a little bit. I mean, they're pretty close. I mean, there's just no lower wick on the new 3-week. Like, And there wasn't a lot of lower wick on the previous 3 week either. I mean, we just haven't gotten that wick, that bottoming, here's a bottoming sort of, touch there, and you kind of want to get that double bottom, another wick down, equal level ish, and then come up, get your bottoming candle, and then get up. We just don't have it yet, so it makes me have question marks here. And then here's your monthly. We did get a green monthly. So we got this 8 days ago. I don't think I've made a video since then. We did end up getting a green monthly on Bitcoin. So, it's an inside green candle. Even on this, I would like to see the low of this monthly broken. Like, even if we don't break the low of February, if we came down a little bit and then came back up and got an inside green hammer, I think that would look good to get up off of and make a move higher. But we still didn't break the low of last month, even though it is a green candle. It would just look better and give a higher percentage odds that we could go higher off of it. But so far we have this kind of green hammer, but I mean there's 22 days left, so I mean a lot's going to happen with this candle until then. So we also got the 3-month close, and I mean, look, this is bearish 3-month, and then we got that 3-month close. This is like a continuation candle to the downside, and what I think is happening is we're getting our upper wick for the new 3-month candle. Here's the 8 EMA. It's at 77,000. So I know I talked about that target area of 77,000 that I think we can get to in the short term. The 10 is at 81,000. So maybe this is where we kind of get, our upper wick for the new 3-month. Somewhere right around here. I think it'll be right around 76, 77,000. Kind of the midway point of this candle, just to get a nice upper wick for our new 3-month before selling down. This isn't a candle that you just get up off of, usually most of the time. I mean, we have so many time frames with candles that you don't usually just get up off of. And I know there's a lot of news going on and a lot of different things that are kind of moving prices around like we've never seen before. But I mean, we're just going based on, history of candles and everything and how they work. At the very least, if we do get a green, I would like it to be, like an inside candle without breaking the high and then continue higher. But this just opened up. It's got 2 months, 23 days on it. So I still think we're going to come up maybe short term, test that 77,000 area, and then maybe trade lower. I mean, you can see that the 8 is crossed the 10 here. This is rolling over on the 3-month. Not to mention the yearly and the 6-month and all that, like I've showed before, Here's our topping candle for the yearly, and this is our current yearly candle so far. I still think we have a little bit more to go to the downside on the yearly. And then check out the 6-month. So, I mean, we did pull into the 6-month. We did pull down to our 10, right around 60K. So, I mean, that looks good. That's a nice pullback on the 6-month. And then we get the 4-month close in, 22 days, 10 hours. So, we pierced through the 10, and you can see the 8 starting to roll a little bit here towards the 10. And it kind of looks like, unless this gets up in 22 days and we get a green, if this is a red, like, now your 4-month is rolling over the 10. And so, that's going to set you up for another 4 months of possible downside based on this, because you can see the 8 rolling over the 10. I mean, we really should be going lower within the next, month or 2, maybe 3. But, I mean, it just shows it right here. So 8's crossing the 10. This is probably what the 4-month will look like in 22 days. But yeah, like I said, I think we'll temporarily come up, maybe test 77, 78,000, and maybe that'll be our high for this month. It'll be a nice upper wick to have, and then we should be good to go lower. I mean, how many times are they going to want to save this market? It's just absolutely insane. So, um, but you know, there's still room in this pennant. If I turn it back on, you know, here's this yellow line up here. You know, that comes across. You know, and then there's this bottom yellow trend line. I have a million trend lines drawn, but those are the main ones to focus on. Not to mention that, you know, this is our neckline up here that goes back to the cup and handle. That's a very important area. You know, that's right at that 75,800. So I definitely think maybe we will hit that, maybe wick up to 76, 77,000, and then maybe get our red reversal and then sell down. I mean, we'll see how today closes. I mean, if we get a big red candle today that has a higher high, then I don't know. It could be interesting. Um, maybe we just sell back down and go from here. But I would think that we would test up higher based on, you know, this big bullish candle we got yesterday. And we also get the 2 and 3 day close today too. So if we look at our 3-day candle, let's turn off trend lines. Let's zoom in into the 3-day. Big hammer down here. Red candle up off this red. I don't like that. The 10 is above the 8. It doesn't look that good, but everything's kind of tight in here, so who knows. Moving averages are tight, and when the moving averages are tight, big moves can happen. 2-day started off of a red, and then you're up off of another red. The 8 is about to cross the 20. Everything's pretty tight in here on the 2-day. So we could see some big moves here. And it looks like it's, you know, rolling to the upside. So I do think we'll at least test higher, you know, for now. And we're just so coiled in here. Like, you can see us coiling, and, you know, I think we're going to see a big move one way or the other here pretty soon. If we start getting green weeklies that look right, you know, I'm not going to be afraid to go long either, you know, just because I think ultimately we're going to go short. I still think, you know, I'm still looking for longs too. I'm going to play whatever the daily gives me. If I get a good daily, like for instance, ARPA. We got a really good daily going on ARPA. So here's our daily right here. I'm actually in this trade long. Well, not yet. I'm waiting for the daily high to break. So on ARPA, once the high of this candle 00944 gets broken, I have an alert set on another pairing. But if this comes up and breaks the high of this previous day candle I'm in, I mean, this is a really nice setup. You can see the moving averages starting to roll up. Everything's pretty close here, tight. You get this nice green hammer, long lower wick inside of this green hanging man candle. I mean, this is perfect. This is what you kind of want to see. Things rolling up, and then this setup. Hammer inside of a hanging man candle. So this is the setup that I've talked about in previous videos that I like. Things rolling up, and once the high of this candle gets broken right there, the top part of this wick. So if this comes up and then starts to break it, then I'm in the trade, and then I'll put my stop at the low of this candle. I would usually put them at the low of the previous candle, but it's such a big candle that I will either put my stop loss at the bottom of this candle, or I will put it at the bottom of the lowest moving average. So probably right around the 10 SMA. just slightly below it, so probably right at that 0.00917. So if this starts to go green, this has a chance to fire and get up. And I've got some trend lines that I'm watching where it could get up to. So I mean, there's an example of a short-term play. Like I really like this long today, and we'll see if it gets up. And if it doesn't, if it closes red, like it's okay. I'm not in the trade. I'm only in the trade when it breaks the high of the previous day, and then I'm in the trade. And I could see us getting back up inside maybe the apex of this like symmetrical I've drawn. ARPA's drawn pretty well. Can probably tighten things up in here. Something like that. Let's see, like that maybe. Yep. It's down there, points up there. Plays around the trend line, breaks it. They save it. That was a huge wick, wow. ARPA can really be a big mover. I mean, you can get these nasty moves out of ARPA. But yeah, I think if they're gonna save it, this is the perfect candle to just get up and fire off of, and we'll see if they can do it today. I am long ARPA. I like it a lot. Let's check the 2-day. It's got a green 2-day, and if today closes like that, that'll be a nice 2-day candle as well. If it just closes, up a little bit higher, that'll be a nice 2-day candle. 3-day, that 3-day looks good. It's at the moving averages right now. I'd like to see it close up just a little bit higher today. If not, just go. Let's check out the weekly. Did get a green weekly to go higher off of, but it's dead flat on the previous week, so that kind of makes me scared. Plus, here's the moving averages right here. So we'll see. It's a daily play. So I may, if it gets up and makes a decent move, I'll be probably quick to take profit. Dead flat on the bottom of the 2-week. That doesn't look right, but it did break the previous 2-week high, which is crazy. Here's the moving averages rolling down. 3-week, dead flat on the 3 weeks. So yeah, I mean, longer term, it doesn't look as good, but this is just a great daily to play. I got to play this, 10 out of 10 times. I'm always looking for a play like this. This is just really nice with the moving averages rolling up, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if we can get going today. It's got 9 hours 42 minutes till the close, and we'll see if we can get a nice move today out of ARPA. I mean, I definitely really like this setup. Let's just go through real quick, see if anything else looks decent. I mean, this is total. We did get close to some trend lines up here. I think we can probably still get up and make a bigger move, but we'll see. Total 3, it was at an interesting area, that we're kind of getting rejected at so far today. I have this red trend line that comes down. It goes way back. This doesn't even look like it's drawn very well. Let's see if I can fix it. Wonder why this isn't very well done. Apologies. Give me a sec. Okay, touches that point. That point. Might need to come down just a little bit. Right there. Touch in there. Touches in here. Okay, that's a little bit better. So yeah, you can see we're at an interesting area right here, and that's probably why we're seeing, some alts not doing as well so far. It's just because we got a big hammer. Moving averages aren't quite ready to cross yet, so I wonder if we'll come down towards the 20 and the 8 and maybe pull them up today at some point, like come down maybe just a little bit more and maybe get up and get a green, or I don't know, some type of continuation candle here, and then tomorrow we could see a big move up in alts. So I wonder how they're going to play this. Or maybe we just get a big fat red candle and we pull the moving averages back down, and then we do see that dump. So I mean, we're at such an interesting area right now. I mean, this is a very important trend line that comes all the way back up from the top. You know, you can see this pattern we have going on total 3, and here we are getting down to crunch time down here. Like, this comes back up from when we were at all-time highs back in October of last year, and we're at these levels. Boom, boom, sell down, touches down here, quick wick down, back up, kind of down here, been chopping around, and now we're down in the apex of this. So a decision is going to have to be made here. If we set up in here, and get a nice green candle, we could see a big move up on alts. Maybe it's not Bitcoin that makes a big move, but maybe we come back up to our, where we were back in October. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I still would like us to come down here and get a touch down here and get this drop and then set up down here and get up. But if it sets up in here, I'm gonna go long and I'm gonna play it. If I get the daily candle to do it, I've got to get the daily. But sometimes we don't always get what we want, and sometimes what we think is gonna happen doesn't happen, and they save it and they go up with it. But based on these monthly candles, they still tell me that we're going to go lower at some point. So I don't know. Will we get a temporary pump? We're just going to have to take it day by day, and we're going to have to play with the candles that they give us. I mean, it's been so tough to trade these last 2 months because everything has just been freaking news driven, and even when they give us something nice, and it looks like we're gonna, drop somewhere, like we have a red candle continue, like they just save it up off of a red. And the reason it chops is because they're pumping it or dumping it off the wrong color candles. So that's why it's choppy. Like, anytime you save something, if you save it off the wrong color, like, then it's gonna eventually come back down, and you gotta set up properly. I mean, even this was up off of a red. So this little temporary weekly, pump we've been getting, up here started off this red candle. Like, that's not right. We did reset here, but we broke the high of this red candle. So that's not right either, So I don't know. But if we do trade down today, get up and get a green candle up here, like a green hammer, green hanging man style candle, I'm gonna go long in some alts because there's a chance we could make a big move out of here. We're flirting with this trend line, and if we get a signal bar type candle, with the moving averages rolling up, like I'm gonna go long, and I'll probably look for quicker profit. Because I don't know how long this move will sustain the upside, but we should see a nice move to the upside. And let's check out Bitcoin dominance, because we're going to want Bitcoin dominance to get a red candle today, so that the alts can show more strength than Bitcoin, because I don't think Bitcoin has that much further to the upside it can go. Like, if it does go to 77,000, like, I think the alts should rip a lot harder than Bitcoin will. And on Bitcoin dominance, we are at the freaking apex. Like, I've got this little, exclamation point thing. Like, hey, we're like right here. If I zoom out, like, you can see how freaking coiled we are. I mean, this goes back. When did this start? August of last year. Like, look at this. Just been coiling in here, coiling, very tight in here. Like, we should see a big move up or big move down. I'm thinking a big move down in Bitcoin dominance, like, and this would correlate with alts showing a lot of strength compared to Bitcoin. Like, so we should see bigger move out of the altcoins, like, really soon. Like, we're talking like a week or two, or maybe, a few days. Like we're just so tight in this apex. I've got some other trend lines drawn and stuff, just minor trend lines, but we're there, so we're probably going to see this sooner than later. And you can kind of see Bitcoin dominance has been fighting higher recently, which probably means it has a green weekly. Well, let's just check out its weekly candle. And let's look here. So I mean, this is Bitcoin. This isn't a crypto to trade. It's just showing the strength of Bitcoin, but we're kind of dead flat on the bottom of these previous weeklies. Maybe they're going to need this week to close. Maybe we get a red here, and then next week it just dumps. Like, we'll see. Like, if this comes back down, it could pull the 8 and the 10, in the right direction. That would look good. It's kind of an interesting week because if it gets up and gets green, like it's going to pull the 8 and the 10 above the 20. But if it dumps here, the 8 and the 10 are going to stay below the 20. And like either way, like it's going to look good to either go up or down based on kind of this week. So this is a big week for Bitcoin dominance, in my opinion. So we'll kind of see what happens with it. I'd like to see it go red. That way, we could see moves out of the altcoin market. We could, have some big trades coming up, if that's the case. Because, a lot of times alts can move very viciously one way or the other, and I like those sustained moves where we can catch either short or long, and we're just going to look for the daily candle to trade it. So yeah, big week, I would say, big week for Bitcoin dominance. I mean, there's different trend lines I've drawn. Like look at this, connects that point to that point, and then this week we touched that point. We haven't broken through it, so and then here's some touches in here on this trend line. This connects a point back here. This is probably the same exact trend line, but just kind of showing like how important that is, like where we're at. It's just so coiled in here, and when you get coiled up, like you see a big move one way or the other, and I think we're at that point. Let's see here. I mean, look how choppy this was, and then it finally got up and went. So I don't know. We'll see. Let's just check out XRP. We're still in this like falling wedge. I don't know. Let's check out a different pair of XRP. Let's go to XRP USD. Yeah, this is better. I mean, you can see like we're this falling wedge. We'll bold these, or it's already bolded. Or let's go 3x, just because it's important. Change the color. Let's go pink. Let's do that. Yeah, so I mean, let's see here. There we go. Okay. So the falling wedge, all these touches down here, it's important. All these touches up here, here we are trading down. I'd like us to see us touch down here, back at that, $1.15, maybe wick down to 90 cents, come back up. We haven't really come down for a second touch down in this area. And that's really what I want to see is another touch down here. We get this long touch down here. I like us to see us get one more touch down here and then get up. And this is on a weekly chart. So, here's September down here. August, September. So I think a move will be made right around that time. And I know I've talked about it in previous videos, but I mean, we're just kind of, 65%, 70% complete in this falling wedge. I mean, this correlates with a lot of other cryptos. I still feel like, we need to go down to get this double bottom to confirm that we are bottomed, you know. Not to say I don't think we can't get up, like I've mentioned in this video temporarily, but I'd still like us to come down, and test lower, get, establish support, down here on Bitcoin, This was our rising wedge and we broke out of, and now we got the same thing going on. Here are the moving averages. Now we're starting to, we did kind of, so if we go back and look here a little bit, and this is on the weekly, we did kind of come up into the moving averages, and the 8 actually did start to roll above the 10, and that's exactly where we're at here. Like, the 8 is now rolling above the 10 on the weekly, and we did drop off of a green inverse. So, is that where we are now? Like, will this weekly candle become like this? The same sort of thing, 8's above the 10, and then we drop in the previous week? Like, I don't know. This is a very kind of similar setup to this up here. But, I think we did have a momentum divergence too on the weekly. Let's see. There you go. But, this was a this was a lower low than the previous swing. So, I don't know. But you can see it rolling up on the weekly. And we were pretty low on the weekly. Like, look at this. Look how low we were. Let's see, were we ever this low on the weekly? Okay, if I just scroll back, see, we're down here. Our slope is down here. Like, we were so low on the MACD. I don't know. This goes back to 2018. Wow. This was like the lowest we had ever been on the MACD on the weekly. So I think that's why we're starting to come back up. Gonna reset the MACD on the weekly. Maybe, for a week, maybe for the next week or two, maybe we do get up and we kind of reset our momentum on the MACD and before we drop again. I don't know. Maybe that's why we're chopping around so much. And let's see, if we go back here, we can look at other times where we kind of chopped around for a while. So look how many weeks we were chopping in here before a big move down. They give us a nice weekly, like really nice weekly right there, that candle to drop off of. This red handyman candle. You could put your stop at the top of that weekly candle and you would have caught all of that. Oh my god, what a huge move to the downside. Like, I hope they give us something like that. I'm just, oh god, I hope we get something nice like that. We really haven't had like anything just really nice since like last July. Like, it's kind of sad. Like, it's been so long since we've had a nice setup. It's almost been a freaking year. It's, it's April, and our last really good setup, for long was back in July. So let's see, where was it? Like right in here. This candle, we got a nice move up. The alts moved better than Bitcoin did. So if we look at total 3, I think it was this candle. That's September. Let's see, where were we? June. Right here. This little candle set us up for July. Big move up. That was nice. It wasn't really the weekly candle. It was the daily candles we had, though. Like the daily we had in July of last year. I know I've talked about it a million times, but I just really want us to get a setup like this. Right there, that candle. And I gotta go, but just wanted to show this. Like, I'm gonna be looking for a candle like this. This was July 8th of last year. Get up above the moving averages, chop, 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 boom, big move. Big move. This is what I want to see sooner than later, and who knows? Maybe we'll get something like that in the next week or two, whether it's to the downside or up. And I'll try and see if I can find any plays like that. But we got to get above the moving averages if we're going to go long. We're still below them, and we'll see how today closes, and we'll go from there.